Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home. My name is Becky, and I am so excited that you're here today. Today is day 2 of decorating my home for Christmas with a nostalgic feel. We did this last year. You're going to hear the saw in the background today because David's working on a project for me. Please just overlook that. I'm sorry. I can't do a thing about it. We're back in the kitchen. The last video we did the top part of the cabinets. You can kind of see there what that looks like. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that video. Today we're going to work on the countertops, and we don't have a whole lot left to do in this kitchen. Just a few pieces here and there, but it should go by pretty quickly, and then we can move to another spot in the house because it's Saturday and it's a perfect day to get lots of things done. So that's the goal today. I think we're going to start with our Hobby Lobby shelf this time, make things a little bit different, and I've got a few things picked out already, so I kind of have a plan together. So that's why I say this should go pretty fast. So here's what we're going to work with. I've kind of planned this out ahead, like I said, so I know what's going up here just to save time. I've got 2 strands of these 20 count lights that came from the Dollar Tree. That's the perfect amount to go on a shelf this size. So I've already got them plugged in. They're ready to go, but here's the empty boxes right here so you can see them. $1.50 at the Dollar Tree. And then I've got my mixture of new and old goodies. Just a disclaimer. When I say new, I don't mean that it's brand new off the shelf this year, that I bought it this year. I mean modern. For example, this would be considered modern because it came from Dollar General. When I say old, I mean vintage. For example, this right here, I've had for years and years, and I've got a good mixture of everything. This looks old, but it's actually new. I got it from Temu. Let's see. This would probably be considered vintage. I'm not sure. They're still making these. Who knows? But they make them to look vintage. I think, other than that, this is all vintage. We made this in a video together a year or 2 ago, I think. These are new, but they look vintage. So the stores have plenty of options of things that you can get to get that feel that you're looking for. You know, for example, I was just doing a TikTok and I was saying, I've got these little trees over here to decorate, and I've got these little ornaments, the Santa ornaments, not the green ones. There's a mixture in here. I've got old and new. These little ornaments, even though they look like they're very vintage, they're brand new. They came from Temu. They made them to look old. They're repros. So when the day comes when you walk into a thrift store or an antique store and you find the real thing, then you can replace them with the real thing. But for now, use the repros. Why not? So we've just got a good mixture of both is what I'm trying to say. Old and new. So I'm going to put everything you see here up on this shelf. All right, let's get started. So first thing I want to say before we get started is you may notice, if you're new and you haven't been on here very long, you may notice this wild and wacky wallpaper behind me. Well, I did this last year, and I knew, well, actually the year before, and I knew that Christmas time was going to roll around and I was going to have some clashing going on. But I love this wallpaper so much. It brings me so much joy. But, you know, I got to thinking, in a true 1970s home, they didn't care about their wallpaper matching their aesthetic. They just put all their stuff up. So the way that I managed to mix the two is I use a lot of gold, tinsely, gaudy stuff in my decor, and it just kind of goes together. It works together. I don't know how to tell you why. I can't explain it, but it gives me the feel that I'm looking for, that old nostalgic feel, and it works fine. So if you don't like my wallpaper, I'm sorry. I love it, and I am enjoying every minute of it. So, all right, let's decorate the top part first. We're going to start with the biggest piece, which is this little metal sign here. Like I said, this did come from Temu. You can get that nostalgic vintage feel even with new pieces. And as you find them over the years, when you're doing your thrifting and your antiquing, replace them or add them in, mix them together. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I think it all looks good together. I got these 2 books. They're actual Christmas books, and I just took the covers off, and I love the colors, so we're going to put that there. And then I have this little girl here. We got her from an antique store, but I don't know that she's really all that old. I think she's just got that feel about her, you know. And the theme of my kitchen, I don't really do themes, but if I could call it anything, it would be Mrs. Claus's kitchen. So I use a lot of Mr. and Mrs. Claus's in here. I've got this cute little reindeer. This was just an ornament that I had. I think I found it probably at the Dollar General or something. And I took the string off the top and I put a little garland around his neck. And he is the cutest little guy. So I'm going to put him right there beside Mrs. Claus. And then we, well, wait a minute. Let's not do that quite yet. So I have these little blocks that David cut out for me as risers. So I'm going to put those back there to give me a little bit of height for my sign. The sign came from Dollar General, $3. Can't beat that with a stick. And then now we're going to talk about this little teacup situation. Basically, someone gave me this teacup, and it's beautiful and glorious and all the things. And I made a little assemblage out of it, but nothing is actually glued to the teacup. It can all be taken apart. But I used the plastic greenery and a couple of ornaments and just made this, and it is so cute. I enjoy it so much. I love it. So we're going to put that right there. Now, we've got the lights to come through here, and I also want to put some tinsel up here. So let me grab that. I just put the lights up there off camera because it was getting a little topsy-turvy there for a second. And this is just the same old garland that I'm using all throughout the house. And I just want to kind of string it up here just to give it a little bit of shiny gold. Just a little touch of color. I'm going to have to cut this because it's a little long, but that's okay. Where's my scissors? Let me grab those. I'll cut it right there. And hopefully I'll be able to hide those blocks a little bit also. There we go. That's good enough. Okay, now let's go down to the second shelf. The second shelf is always hard for me because, oh wait, I forgot to add this little guy right here. He comes right here. Forgot all about you, Santa. The second shelf is a little hard for me to decorate because it's just, you can't fit a lot under here. There's not a lot of room to play with. So it's usually pretty minimal. And honestly, you're mostly looking at this up here anyway. So we're not going to complain. We're just going to do the best we can. We just keep it minimal, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to just tie these lights so they stretch out a little bit. And then we're going to come in here with just a couple simple little things. I've got this little doily, and I'm going to put my Santa mug right here. And then I've got these cute little salt and pepper shakers, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, keeping with the theme. We're going to elevate one and make the other a little lower. And then I'm just going to come in here with this remaining tinsel, and we're going to be done. Just like that. Okay, that's kind of hiding my doily, isn't it? I need to reconfigure my tinsel situation here. Maybe we'll go behind it. As long as we got a little shiny, that's all that matters. All right, and put this back, and we'll put him back here. We'll just let them kind of hang out in the back, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not that important. But anyway, this is, we're going to call done. I'll show you a close-up. Here's a close-up of everything. How stinking cute. That gold garland really is the ta-da of it all, honestly. How cute is that? I love it. All right, we're going to move over just a little further down, and we're going to work on this corner. All right, so just a warning. I'm not going crazy in here. I'm keeping things very, very similar to how I did them last year. I picked out similar items, similar style. Everything's going to be very similar to last year. If it evolves past that, great. If not, we're not going to stress about it. We're going to just move on to the next. But I wanted to start with this little Christmas tree. A lot of times what I'll do with this tree is I'll put it inside one of those metal colanders, which is a great idea. I didn't do that this year. I don't know if I did it last year or not, but still worth mentioning. If you've got a little tree like this that's kind of ugly at the bottom, you can just stick it inside that colander. Also, that colander has a natural, the holes in it has a natural shape of a star, which you could just put lights in it on its own, and that would be beautiful. But I got those 20 count lights from the Dollar Tree. I got 4 of them, so that's what's on here. You just got 20 lights on here. I would love to have more, but I did not think about buying more. I only bought 4, so that's what we're going to use. Oh wait, I have to do this first. I got these little plastic doilies somewhere, I don't know, one of my thrifting adventures, and I'm going to put that down first. But essentially what I'm going to do is keep the little wicker part down here. I've already wiped this down and cleaned it and everything, so it's good. I'm just going to keep everything the way it was because I'm completely out of storage. So we're going to keep the wicker up there, even though it's getting ready to be hidden by this metal plate. It looks like I paid $2 for this on one of my thrifting adventures, so we're going to put that back there. And then, okay, so I have 3 of those fabric Santas. I used to only have the little Santa sitting in the chair, which is one of my absolute favorite pieces ever. But I found this guy for $2 at the yard sale this year. So he's gonna go up here and he matches this perfectly. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Okay, that's a little better view for you, but this little guy matches that tray absolutely perfect. It's like they were meant to go together, so we're going to put him right there. But the other thing that I have to do to finish this corner off is I have to decorate this tree. I just showed you this bag of ornaments. I told you this little Santa here is brand new. He doesn't look it, but he is. He came from Temu, although he looks awful vintage. And then I've got a mixture of old ornaments and new ornaments in here. These are vintage. They came from a thrift store. And then I've got these little wooden ones. Let me pull a couple of them out. These little wooden ones I'll mix in as well. And they just are so cute. Look. There's a little bell. There's the Santa. This one's my favorite. So we'll just mix them up and decorate that little tree. It should be adorable when we're all done. We're also going to put that gold tinsel around that we've been using throughout the rest of the house. Okay, and then the other thing I need to do is I need to put a little sign here. This sign is a little modern for my liking, and I don't really love the silver, but it's going to have to do for now until I find something else. The only thing that I will say I need on my little tree is a little bow at the top, but the only 2 bows that I have are just entirely too big, and it's not looking good, so I'll put that on my list of things to look for if I happen to find it. So let's move over to well, let me show you a close-up first. This is a much better view than what you had for sure, but you can kind of see now that you're closer that I do need a tiny little bow up there. Something, even if it's a star, something for the top of that tree because it's missing something. And there's the little sign. Maybe also a doily or something to go under here that's red because I feel like something could be added for sure. I don't know. All right, let's move over here. We've got plenty more to work with. And we're going to do this corner. I've already put the lights in this tree. I do usually try to mimic the corners as much as possible, just make them similar to each other. But I will tell you, again, another disclaimer, I love this little Santa right here so much that I just want to be able to see him every single day and enjoy him. So he's going back under his tree, taking his nap, and it's going to be the exact same way that it was last year, pretty much, because I loved it so much. Last year was the first time that I had decorated like this, so you're going to see a lot of me saying it was the same as last year because I loved it so much and I enjoyed it so much that I just want to be able to see it again, if that makes sense. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to decorate this corner. We're going to decorate that tree, hang a couple of, you know what? I just had an epiphany. Julia sent me a new hand towel with Rudolph on it that I need to get out and iron. This is what I was going to hang on my little towel rack, but I want to use that Rudolph somewhere, so I need to get that out too. It's in my Christmas stuff, but where I'm only bringing out a couple things at a time, I'm remembering things that I want to use. But anyway, all right, I am getting very, very sidetracked. We're going to put that there for David. Let's get this one decorated. I just tore everything down because I had a thought. I have this really beautiful doily here, and last year I hung it up like that, and I was going to do the same thing this year, but you know what? I'm thinking, what if that could be used as a rug in place of that white one? Let's see what it looks like, if it adds anything, or even if it doesn't topple things over, because that's why I didn't use it there last year, because it's so thick. I was afraid that it was going to knock things over. But let's just try it. Let's see what happens. I definitely would like to have more of the color that it brings than that white. Hopefully I won't tear the whole world apart over here by doing this. Let's see. How does that look? That's okay. It's holding up pretty well. And we'll put this white thing right here, since we already have so much color going on. And I actually have two of these, so I could put the other one on the other side also. Let me show you closer and see what you think. This is what I have. So it kind of hides it more than if I were to have it. Let me show you. Last year what I did was I put it up here. I just tie strapped it in and you could kind of see it. But I needed some red over here and I kind of like that. I might leave that. Yeah, we're going to leave that as it is. Okay, now let's move over here. Okay, Dave is making a cup of coffee right behind you, so you're probably going to hear that. So just ignore it. I'm sorry. So we're going to do, like I said, the same thing that we did last year. I went ahead and decorated the little tree because you just saw me do the same thing over there. We don't need to see that again. I love this little doily because it looks like a rug. And it matches my little sleeping Santa so perfectly because, I mean, you'll see. You've seen it before if you've been here before, but if you're new, it's perfect. So in my mind, you've got this little rug on the floor, you've got a tree, and you've got Santa sleeping under the tree. Again, I need a little bow for the top of my tree. I'll be on the lookout for that. So we're going to put him right there and his little sack of toys right between his legs right there. And let me just push this out a little bit so you can see the rug a little better, because it is such a cute little detail. I don't want it to get lost. Okay. And then there we go. That's really it. Let me show you a close-up. Here's a closer view. I will say I am missing the piece on the back. I'm missing some color back there. So not only do I need to think about the little bow on top of the tree, but I need to think about something back there. So as I'm unpacking my things, I'll keep that in the back of my mind, and we may revisit this. So if you come back for the full house tour, that may be different. But other than that, those two things, I think it's perfect. I think it's just enough, and I absolutely love it. So the next thing I want to do is just over here to your right, I want to hang some little hand towels, and then also I have this little guy right here that I had a minute ago. We're gonna put it, we're just gonna sit it right here to add a little bit more and to make the two sides more uniform. Actually, I'll probably just take that wicker piece out and leave it like that. And then these are not actually hand towels, they're napkins, but they're so beautiful that, I mean, I don't know, they're just so pretty. I'm gonna put them right here. I like to hang something here, so we'll find something a little later to hang there. And I also want to pull out that Rudolph hand towel that Julia sent me, because I would like to use that in here somewhere also. So that's so simple, but I do like to hang something off the side, so we'll look for something for that. Also, I have this cute little rubber spatula that I get one for each season, and I'm gonna put that right there. And then I have this third fabric Santa that kind of matches the other two. I'm gonna sit him right there. Oops, right there. And that was a gift that I just got a few days ago. So they all together in a grouping in the kitchen, and I think that worked out perfect. The last thing that I'm gonna do in the kitchen is gonna be so simple. We don't even need to take but a second to show it to you. I always put this little joy sign right there above my stove. And then I got this little metal, it's brass, I don't even know what it is. It's just a little tray. I got it at a thrift store not too long ago. Not really sure what I was gonna do with it. And I put my salt and pepper shakers in it and my toothpick holder in it for everyday use. So I thought, well, for Christmas, we'll just switch out our salt and pepper shakers and put it right there. So, and David did not use his Mr. Claus coffee cup that I put out for him. He used the one that has his name on it. This is David. He likes those Ray Dunn mugs because they're the perfect, they're already sized perfectly for his settings on his coffee pot. So, all right, I'm officially done with the kitchen, with the exception of something that I want to put back here. I just don't know what it is yet. We'll figure that out hopefully this season. I want two little bows to go on top of my little trees here and here, and I also need a rug. I'm hoping I can find one out in the shed when I start pulling out the rest of my stuff. I feel sure there's got to be something out there that I can use. Here's my thing. The bigger and gaudier and glorious, more glorious that this kitchen gets, I want to go even bigger, and I feel like I want to put bows on my cabinets. You know, where you take the red velvet ribbon and you kind of wrap around it like a gift. At least maybe these two, or I don't know, I'd like to do all of them, but I'm thinking about doing that. So that would again be another project for another day. But how cute would that look in here? I think it would look amazing. But here's the thing, we need to get the big stuff done before we start adding things to it. But my kitchen looks so cute like it is. Or we could just even do this part, maybe. I don't know. I need to take those egg cartons down and take them to church tomorrow to my brother-in-law, because I keep forgetting them, and I only see them when I'm filming. That's when I see them, because they've been there for so long that when I walk in the kitchen, I don't even notice them anymore. All right, the kitchen is done. I want to sweep and mop the floors, fix David and I some lunch, and then I'm going to move on to something else. So I just put everything together that I have filmed so far today in the kitchen. It's honest to goodness, it's 2 o'clock. I don't know why things are taking me so long. I do know why, because I'm trying to film TikToks along with my YouTube, and plus I'm just taking my time, y'all. I'm not rushing this thing. I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm going to end this video. I am going to show you that I did do the blanket ladder, but again, it's the same as it was last year. It's not anything different other than the fact that I think last year I might have taken the white blanket and put it on top, but it doesn't matter. It's essentially the same thing. I'm going to take that blanket right back down and go throw it in the washing machine because I want everything to be nice and clean for the season. So that's all I'm going to have for this video. But the next thing I'm getting ready to work on is in these two boxes right here, and it's going up on that shelf right there. Make sure you have liked and subscribed to the channel so you can come back and find out what exactly is in these two mystery boxes, and it's going on that big shelf. So as always, I appreciate you guys spending a few minutes of your day with me. It means the whole world. Until next time, I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.